I think that's how you pronounce bespoke. I've only seen it written. I've actually never heard it said. So maybe it's bespoke or bespoke. I might be completely mispronouncing it. Bloop. Da 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 da. All right. Check this shit out. Today, I'm going to talk about why you need to let your plans fall through. Fuck your plans. All your plans, take them, throw them away. Clickbaity title. It is true, but let me be clear about what I mean. When I say let your plans fall through, I mean when you're planning your ideal life, your passionate life, because that's what Passion Unchained is about, to give yourself that awesome fucking life that you really want, to build your life from the ground up like a Lego set, but like a Lego set that you define yourself. Let me turn this towards me. What's really important to do is to have a sense of direction, have a plan, have a specific destination, but the avenues you take to get there are changeable. It's so important to have a specific destination defined, but also not be so attached to a specific route to get there. There's a really great analogy I love, and that is using Google Maps. I like using Apple Maps. Let's say using Apple Maps. Using Apple Maps to get yourself from point A to point B. Point B being your idea. I need to move this so I can gesture with my hands. Point B being your destination, which you're very clear about. You know exactly where you want to go. Point A being where you're at. So you have a route that you keep in mind that you're following. And hopefully it's the best route, like maybe no tolls or it's the fastest or whatever criteria you have in mind. Maybe it's the safest for your car, it doesn't go on gravel roads, things like that. No lights so that you don't have to get stopped, etc., going back roads or whatever. And if you're at point A, maybe it says, okay, take that main road and then go on this side road and then go on the highway, right? And you go there and you're on the path, but then there's an accident and the traffic changes and Apple Maps will say, okay, instead of going this route, I'm going to reroute you. There's a new, faster route that's going to go that way. I'll get into the analogies in a second. And then you could also be like, well, I'm going to go this way, but, that street's closed. I didn't realize that street was closed. But Apple Maps doesn't see that it's closed, so you have to go around that street and go in a detour. The analogy here is you're clear about where you want to go. You're clear about your ideal life. And if you're not, I have some videos on that. The Craftsman's Code is a playlist that I have on my channel. If you check out my channel, click on the logo, check out my channel. There'll be a thing called the Craftsman's Code. That's a great place to start about how to find what your ideal life looks like if you don't know yet. But I'm assuming that you know what your ideal life is. You know what that looks like, at least certain aspects of it. You clear about where you want to go, and you pick a route, and you find that, say, you really say you want to make a lot of money, and you want to get a remote job for now, but you find that the industry, like programming, say, you find that you hate programming, and that's like a blocked road. That's like, okay, you were going to go on this main road, but that road's blocked. Like, you're going to get burned out. You realize that if you start doing programming, you're going to get burned out. Or you realize that you wanted to get a remote job in programming to fuel your desire to travel, to fuel your life, your travel in your life and make a lot of money, etc. And you found out that you have a lot to learn with programming. Then it's like, well, you have to take a longer detour to get around this roadblock. It's not like that route isn't closed off to you, but you have to take a longer detour and learn to code, right? So that's a great analogy because it works in so many ways. Or there's a faster route. That's a really good example. And this is actually for me, right? So I was directed and I knew where I wanted to go, but I didn't really know where the streets were. Like, what you'll learn is like you don't really have a map in your mind. You're like, okay, I want to go over there, that place I see in the distance, but you don't know how the roads work in the way. And so you kind of just sort of aimlessly go in a direction, and then you slowly find out how the roads are laid out in life, and you are able to see the map. But that takes experimentation and fucking up a lot. So it's like, I want to travel a lot. I want to enjoy life. I want to have a lot of money. And that's my end goal. And on the way there, so I first went to college for computer science. I'm like, okay, the path towards that end goal is getting a computer science degree and getting a computer science job. And then after the computer science job, I'll have money and I'll be able to travel. And then I realized that I wanted to travel now. I wanted to travel while I was young. This was in my mid-20s. I'm in my late 20s now. It was a few years ago. I wanted to travel now while I was young, while I could enjoy it. And I also realized I didn't like programming. And I would get burned out pretty quickly, very quickly on a programming assignment. And I wouldn't even have enough energy after the assignment, the work for that day, to do anything else. So I realized that route was closed. That road, like my car was not fit for that road. Like maybe it had snow on it and I didn't have snow tires. Or like maybe it was flooded out and I didn't have an aquatic, amphibious car, right? That's an analogy here that I can use. It's like there's just rain, that road normally would be fine, but I don't have a car that can go through it. And I decided to I decided to drop out of college, travel the world. I went to Colombia for a couple months. I went to Latvia and Lithuania for a couple months, and then the US for a month or two, and then I moved to Austin. But in the process, I was going to make money online. I made some money online, but not enough to sustain me. I was on the streets of Medellin for a couple days, which is very dangerous. I almost got conned out of all my stuff, like my laptop, my phone, everything. I almost got conned out of all that. And that's another story. That's a story of another time. I got in a fight with a hostel owner. It's like, it was crazy. But all that was my own fault because I was stupid and I didn't plan financially. And that analogy is like, I tried to go down a different road. So this road's flooded out because it would burn me out if I went down the programming route. And so my car would die if I went down that route. So it's like a flooded place. So I would try to go around it, but I didn't have enough gas in my car. And so this is like if you were to personify the story, I didn't have enough gas in my car, so I had to get out of my car and walk to the gas station and get some gas and come back. That's kind of the way that I see what happened because I was so completely broke. I had to rely, when I was in Latvia, I had to rely on my girlfriend. I dated a girl for 3 weeks there. Amazing fucking girl, one of my favorite relationships I've ever, even though it was so short, she was just so kind and such an amazing woman. We got super close. Love her to bits, even to this day. I mean, I'm not really attached to her. I haven't talked to her in a while, but like, I think of her very fondly. You know who you are. And so that was like me having to, like my car broke down, it was out of gas, I was out of finances, and I had to go find ways to get it. I had to like take small jobs online. There is this place that you would essentially view short clips of a TV show, of a talk show, and then rate their emotions and train an AI to notice emotions. And then they'd give you like a few cents each time you did that. Now I actually earned enough for a plane ticket. A couple $100. They'd pay you in PayPal. I earned a couple hundred, like maybe $500 doing that like for a month. And that was enough for me to get food in Eastern Europe where everything's cheap and the plane ticket back home. It was really scary. I did some graphic design stuff, but that wasn't consistent. And so then I moved to Austin and my idea was I'm going to make a graphic design company. I've been working in graphic design for a while. I was getting some jobs here and there. And then I discovered that this is like me putting gas in my car, a little bit of gas so I could go to the next gas station. And the idea was that graphic design was the next gas station. But then I get to the gas station, I find that gas station is actually me renting a car and driving for Uber. Like I thought it was a Valero, but it was actually a Shell station. Like something like that, right? Like the Valero was actually further and I mixed it up and it was a Shell station. That's the good analogy for that where instead of graphic design being my saving grace, it was my like quickest option. It was Uber. It was me renting a car, driving for Uber, and then I bought a car and drove for Uber. So that's like me, like this is a rental car, and then like say I returned the rental and then bought my own car. And so now I'm driving around and I'm buying gas. I'm going places. Like here's my end goal is still the same, and I'm getting closer and closer and closer. And then I see, and so now when the route I'm taking now is my friend works for an IT company, and he is referring me to this job, and this job is a remote job, 65 to 70K to start or so. He makes six figures. He's worked his way up, so I have an opportunity to make that much, and it would be remote. Now I would be working full time, but it would get me to my route faster. So the example for that is like, you know what, hey, like let me exchange the car that I bought for a faster car, or not so much a Tesla, but like maybe like an Audi, right? Maybe it's like I'm just driving a regular old car and now I'm going to drive a faster car. Not the fastest, but it's faster. And that's the analogy here. I like using this analogy. And the reason I titled this video, Let Your Plans Fall Through, is because if I were to stick to one idea, if I was like, okay, computer science, right? That's it. I decided on it. That's my plan. I'm attached to my plan. And I burned out, then I would have burned out long ago, and I would be very frustrated, and it would like my car would be stalled. I'd be waiting for AAA to come and pick me up, and then I wouldn't really know what to do because I've been so attached to this plan, right? So the thing you need to be attached to and never let go of is your end goal. And you might slightly adjust it. You might be like, well, I was going to go to Denny's, but now I kind of want to go to IHOP. Or like, I really thought I wanted Thai food, but now I want Mexican food, right? You might change your destination. You wouldn't change your destination as much, but you're going to constantly change your route because there's going to be traffic that comes up. There's going to be roads that are blocked. There's going to be like, maybe you need to get gas along the way. You need to stop to go to a hotel. So like you have an intermediate destination, and it's a perfect analogy for how life works, how building your ideal life works. There's a destination that you go to. And then when you go to that destination, say your destination was IHOP, you go to that destination, you eat, you're full. You're not going to be like, well, I'm going to stay here because it was my destination. No, like you're going to be like, well, now I want to go watch a movie, or I want to go back home, or like I want to go somewhere else now. So you're going to have another goal. So life is a series of different destinations where hopefully you enjoy the journey, and you're on like, it's like once I am traveling 25 to 50% of the time, having an abundance of money, paying off my debts, and having no debt, having an abundance of money coming in, $10,000 a month, and like, for doing it with stuff I love, like it wouldn't be the job long term. That would be like a few years. I would be working for the job a few years, and then I'd be doing photography and everything else, and that would slowly overtake it. And so like in a few years, I'll be doing like photography, making $10,000 a month, and that would be that. And then eventually I would be making money just from investments and doing everything I want all the time, right? But like, let's say I get there, right? Well, I'm still going to want to go further. Like I'm going to enjoy that for a few years, but then it's like, well, I want to go further. And at that point, what I probably would be focusing on is how do I build a legacy? How do I create even better content? Since now I have all my free time to myself, I'm doing everything I want all the time. What if I used all this free time to create, to put more higher quality content out? So to put into my focus and then build up Passion Unchained and make Passion Unchained amazing, I wouldn't be at want for money at that point. I'd be doing it for the passion and also to have a legacy and to have something that supports me, something that I can put my effort into, because I'm not just going to be aimless. I can't be aimless. The moment I'm aimless, I feel like I'm something's wrong. That's my personality. Not everyone's like that. Some people are happy just enjoying life. I need to be doing something. I need to be moving towards a goal, or I'm not happy. So I love this analogy. I'll bring it up more, I guarantee you, because it's a perfect analogy for building a life you love. It's like that destination, and then you're taking different routes to it. And you might change the destination here or there, and you're, especially once you reach it and enjoy the destination, then you're going to want to go somewhere new, right? and then the routes change depending on what happens with the roads and what the traffic, etc. So I hope this helped you feel more clear about life and about how to build your own life from scratch, something that's bespoke to you. I think that's how you pronounce bespoke. I've only seen it written. I've actually never heard it said. So maybe it's bespoke or bespoke. I might be completely mispronouncing it, but yeah, I hope this helps you do that. Wish you the best. Subscribe and smash the fuck out of that like button because it helps me reach more people with this shit, and share with a friend if you think it'll help them. Cheers. Bye.